If your business isn't working the way you expected, it's not because you're bad at business. It's because no one ever taught you how it actually works. We were trained to master algorithms in medicine, but when it comes to revenue, teams, and growth, we were never taught anything. We weren't even told to figure it out. We just assumed somehow we'd know, like it would magically make sense, but it doesn't. The era of the seven figure physician CEO is here, and it's not about working harder. It's about learning entrepreneurship as a system. The same way you mastered ACLS and PALS, you can master the algorithm of building a profitable, scalable business. That's why I recorded the Seven Figure Physician CEO audiobook. Whether you're building a medical or non medical business, and whether your goal is your first million, first 2 million, first 5 million, first 10 million, this is where the journey starts. There's no Calvary coming to save us. We are the Calvary. So go get your audiobook now, www.entremd.com/seven-figure book, and let's rewrite the narrative for physicians starting today.
What if there was a way to take the thing that was most stressful in your business right now and make it not stressful? What if you were able to take the things that you keep procrastinating on and you become this person who just does it by default? Well, this is a deal. You can do that. And I am going to show you on this episode how a client of mine did this just a week ago. And it is going to blow your mind and it's going to give you a strategy you can use to create so much peace and quiet and forward momentum in your business. You will absolutely love it. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Before we get into that, I am so excited about a project that is going to really help you in your business. As we got into the new year, I started thinking about how I could support physicians at the highest level. And one of the things that I decided to do is to relaunch an email newsletter. And this email newsletter is called The Inside Scoop with Dr. Una. And what I'm going to do in that newsletter is every single week, I am going to come on and I am going to share with you things I'm working on actively in my businesses, right? So I have a private practice, I have EntreMD, I have a SaaS company, I have a nonprofit, right? And I have a marketing agency. I have so many different businesses, so many different models, and we're constantly trying new things. And the reason for that is I understand that I need to be in the trenches in order to serve the physician community the way I'm supposed to serve the physician community, right? I have to be doing it, right? And so I am going to share behind the scenes, the wins, the missteps, the things I'm trying out, the things that, created big results for us, all of that stuff, right? And I want you to sign up to come join us. It is entremd.com/scoop. Okay, so it's called The Inside Scoop. So entremd.com/scoop. It is going to be something that will be so powerful for you to read every single week. So it'll kind of be from my desk to your desk, okay? Just like we're having coffee and we're chatting, all right? Okay, so this story that I'm about to tell you, I think it got me really excited because it wasn't an isolated story. In the EntreMD Business School scale, which is a tier for doctors doing over $1 million in revenue, we were having a meeting, and in the beginning, they were sharing, what was going on in their businesses, the wins they were having, and all of those things. And it was so fascinating because 3 people on the same call celebrated what everybody else will call a challenge. One of the docs said, that a clinician in her practice resigned. Another person said she had been thinking about, dehiring this person who was not a good fit for their role, and she did it. And the third person was like, yeah, I had to fire somebody else. So I want you to think about this. I didn't say it like, oh, my life sucks. This is what is going on. Business sucks. This is what is going on. They were sharing it like these are wins and we're proud of ourselves and all of these things. And I said, okay. I said, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been looking forward to this day. I've been looking forward to the day where things that seemed so challenging in the past, we're able to handle them like bosses, and we're proud of the way we handle them. So anyway, let's talk about this doc, okay? And then we're going to deconstruct what happened here. And I like telling this story because these are the kind of things that are going to be happening on Inside the Scoop with Dr. Una, where we talk, not Inside the Scoop, the Inside Scoop with Dr. Una, where we're going to talk about all these things. And so this doctor came on and she said that a clinician had turned in their resignation. And when we say the one line, it's like, yeah, they turned in their resignation, but let's think about it, right? I know her, so I know what happened was she had done a good job of interviewing this person, interviewing other people, screening and choosing her, onboarding her, training her in her role, and training her on the clinical side as well, the ongoing training, all of those things. Okay. And so when you do all of that, and then a team member says, I'm done, like, here's my notice, that hurts. Okay. And that hurts so much so that I know of many clinicians who, because it was, hard to hire, hard to keep people and things like that, they quit on it. I know pediatricians who work up their own patients, give their own vaccines and all. They'd rather do that than build a robust team. I know people who, there's certain types of people they would not hire. They would not hire doctors, or they would not hire office managers. They will hire, support staff. And they do that because they've been burned before, right? Okay. So what happened was pretty significant, right? Where you trained somebody all this time and you made plans based on the person. I'm sure the goals for the year, the calculations included this person, all of that stuff. And so it's challenging. This is what happened. And you may not be in a position where it's a resignation, but I want you to think about something else that is stressful in your business, maybe something you've been afraid of. It's something that you're like, I can handle this. This is too much. Okay. So when she shared it, she then said, but it's okay. She was like, I'm so proud of myself, because I was like, that's okay. She didn't have any mind drama around it. She was somewhat shocked, but she didn't have any mind drama about it. And she was like, we'll be okay. Okay. And she shared her win to say, this is a mindset win. I'm so proud of myself. The way I responded a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would not have responded like this. And we celebrated her, right? We acknowledged that and all of that. And I said, okay, well, this is the deal. I know you said it's a mindset win, but I want to point out some other things you said for you to understand that it's a lot more than a mindset win. So let's start from the mindset win. There are some things that, as we understand them, as we run our businesses, it makes business a lot better. For instance, can we hope that nobody leaves our practices, our businesses? No. Is there going to be some turnover? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. If you think about the biggest companies, Starbucks, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Amazon, all this stuff, they have vice presidents leave. Right? Like, yes, it may be challenging to replace a nurse practitioner, replace a doctor, replace an office manager, or replace an OBM, or replace a VA, and all of those things. But we're talking vice president. Like, I'm sure it's a short list of people who could be a vice president of Pepsi, of Pepsi or Coca-Cola, any of these companies, right? And the companies do just fine. And the companies have had to deal with this for decades, and they're doing just fine, right? And so, yes, will people leave? People will leave. Can you control that? No. Can you control how you respond? Yes, right? Are there ways to make this more seamless? Yes. So we focus on that, right? So anyway, so she has this whole mindset win. But I said to her, let me point out some things you said, and let me show you why it was drama-free for you, okay? And as I talk about this, I want you to think about the challenge I'm facing now. If I were to face it again 2 years from now, what would need to happen for this to be drama-free? Okay, so the first thing is, she said, well, we have a number of people who have reached out to us who said, if you're ever looking to hire a clinician for this role, I would love to be considered. So first of all, she had a pipeline of qualified potential clinicians, right? She had a pipeline of them. Why? Because she had built the brand as a place that is a good place to work, as a place where, we're constantly hiring and things like that. And so because of that, she kept getting offers. I know she speaks on a lot of stages. She's active in her community and all of that. So now she doesn't, like, think about it, for patients or for clients, if you're a coach and stuff like that, you could have a pipeline of clients, but she has a pipeline of potential employees. And so because of that, yes, if someone says, okay, this is my resignation, you know that you don't have to start the process from the beginning. Right? So where do you need to create a pipeline? Where do you need to create plan B, plan C, plan D. And this, for some of you, it may not even be with hiring. It may be with, with how patients find you. It may be your patient pipeline, because you started and you got away with word of mouth alone. But one is always a dangerous number in business, right? So what is your plan B? What if this person, your biggest referral source, decides, I'm no longer sending patients to you. We got acquired by the hospital and we need to send everybody to the hospital. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do then? Right? So we don't want to wait and then just see what happens. We want to be proactive. So was she actively looking to hire? Not necessarily, but did she build a pipeline? Yes. Yes, she did. Right? So do you see why I was saying it was not just mindset? There were things that she did to bring herself to the place where something that should be so stressful was not stressful at all. Okay? Okay. The second thing she did, and this is something we work so hard on in the EntreMD Business School, is that she built a hiring system. Okay, notice I didn't say she learned how to hire, which of course she learned how to hire, but she built a hiring system. So what does that mean? Okay, there is a system for how we find people to interview. There is a system for how we interview these people. There is a system for how we screen them after we're done interviewing them. And there is a system for onboarding them. Okay. So let's break this down. So as far as where do we find them from? Okay. They have the pipeline that they've already built of people who are interested. They have organizations they can talk to. She's built a nice social media following. She can post that on social media, post that on LinkedIn, right? So it's not like, oh, where are we going to find these people from? This is a predetermined thing. Okay, this is where we will find them. So now that this person has put in their resignation, they know exactly where to go to start reaching out to say, we are hiring. So that's the first part of this system. Okay. The second part of the system is the interview, right? Now we are very, like if you follow the EntreMD model, you realize that when we talk about hiring, we start from the key result areas, like what do we want this person to do? So now they're not just interviewing to interview and ask questions and, magically see if this person is a good fit. No, they know exactly what they want this role to do. They know exactly who will be a good fit for the role. They know who will not be a good fit for the role. And all of these things, they understand the pet peeves of who they've liked working with and who they've not liked working with. So guess what happens in the interview? They're looking for these things. Will this person be able to handle these outcomes? Does this person fit the mold of who is a good fit for this job? Does this person, maybe they don't, they fit the mold for a person who's not a good job? Are there pet peeves that we just don't want to deal with that this person has? So it is exploration. It's not random questions that are being asked. Okay. So they know how to find these people. They know how to interview these people. They know how to onboard these people. And it's a system. It's not reinvented every single time. I know for a fact that she has tons of trainings that are recorded and they have a portal on all these things. So it's so much easier to onboard somebody else, right? Okay, so they have that. And then they have the screening. So when we're done with all this stuff, this is how we select. Like all these things are done. The ongoing trainings, all these things are done. They've supported so many people that they're like, these are the ways to support our people so that they can show up at the highest level and serve our patients in the highest possible way. She had built a system. So again, the question you have to ask yourself is, what system do I need to build so that the heavy, ginormous heavy lifting that I'm doing, I don't have to do it over and over again? Okay. Now, I will tell you something funny. In 2025, I made the decision that I'm going to make the transition from being a coach to being an engineer. And you'll say, what are you talking about, Dr. Una? I made the transition from somebody who gets people results to somebody who builds a system that gets people results. Now, on the outside, it won't look any different. I'm still running my calls. I'm doing my podcast. I'm doing all these things, but I'm also building assets and systems and tech leverage tools and all of these things to make sure that my frameworks and the way I support people has been put into a system. Right? It's not random. It's not, oh, whatever I feel like when I wake up in the morning. No, everything is put into a system so I can help people get results faster, easier, cheaper, bigger. Right? Okay. So where do you need to build a system? Maybe you need a hiring system. Maybe you need an interviewing system, right? Maybe you need an onboarding system. Maybe you need a system around your team meetings. Think about the things you do over and over and over again. Are you always reinventing the wheel, or have you built a system? Now, these things I'm talking about, right? You build pipelines, you build systems. There's so many things that you've always worried about and always had an issue with that they just go away. You've procrastinated, they just go away. You have mind drama around, they just go away. Okay? So systems are awesome. Systems are awesome. They're just flat out amazing. Okay? So I broke it down to her. So I was like, okay, you have this pipeline, you have this hiring system, you have this onboarding system. So because of these three things, when somebody tells you, I resign, this is my resignation, all right, I'll be gone in whatever, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, whatever it is, you're like, okay, I know where to find the next person from. I understand how we're going to hire this person, right? Like what we're going to do with the interview, what we're going to do with the screening process, and all of those things. And I know how to onboard this person and get this person up to speed in X number of days. It's almost like you were in a mild accident and you had your seatbelt on, right? It's like, we're going to be okay, right? Because you have your plan B, you have your plan C, you have your plan D. And if you can learn to run your business this way, it will put you in a position where everything is more peaceful. So in all the programs I run, okay, so we have the Profitable Private Practice Movement, which is specifically for private practice owners. And we have the EntreMD Business School, Grow and Scale. Okay, so we have 2 tiers there. One tier is for the doctors who are doing over $1 million in revenue. And in all of them, what I try to help people to do is to install systems in their businesses, right? What is your overarching marketing system? What is your content system? What is your referral based system? What is your getting paid system, right? And so in the EntreMD Business School, we call that the revenue generation framework, right? Like, how do you install that in? We don't want to start from the beginning, from scratch every single time. We want to build systems periodically, right? And as we do that, every time you install a new system, there's more peace and quiet and confidence in your business every single time. So this is really cool. What it does is building these systems, it removes guesswork, it removes chaos. Okay, it removes chaos. So how would I build a system? Well, for instance, I need to build a referral base for my business. I know this is the thing that will make the biggest difference. We actually have a doctor in the EntreMD Business School. She's so clear that this is her zone of genius and she is working it. I'm like, nobody is ready for where she's going to be 12 months from now. Okay. Okay. So how do you build a system? And I could give you complicated stuff with graphs and pie charts and all these things, but I want you to hear this. It's so simple. The way I'm going to describe it is so simple. What do I want you to do? I want you to learn how to do something. I want you to do it until you get competent at it. And I want you to iterate every time you do it. Once you document that, that's the system. So for instance, for this doctor, with her team, like I know she has a really nice onboarding system. What did she do? She onboarded them and onboarded them and onboarded them. And she could see like a yellow brick road. Like, this is what we need to do to onboard them, because she was iterating each time. She documented that. That is not an onboarding system, right? You want to build a referral base, but you're scared of talking to people. You haven't even done it. You come into one of our programs, you're in PPPM, you're in the EntreMD Business School. You learn how to build a referral system. So you learn it, right? You learn it. Then you go out there and you do it. In the beginning, yes, you'll be nervous. Yes, you'll be, and all those things. And it's fine. So you start doing it. You start talking to the people. When you talk to a number of people, you get a feel for, okay, these are the best kind of referrals for me. This is the best way to follow up. This is the best way to stay in touch. This is the best way to keep the know, like, and trust factor an all-time high. This is the best way to get one referral source to give me another referral source. You keep iterating, and then you document that, and that becomes your custom system. Okay, how do we do team meetings? Like, somebody asked me that question. Let me think of how they put it. Oh, I have these team meetings. How do I stop them from getting away from me? Like, did we actually do what we set out to do and all of those things? And I said, oh my goodness, this is how you do that. You make it a formula. What did I mean by that? You make it a system, right? Okay, so you learn how to run these meetings. We teach this in all our programs, right? Like, this is how you run team meetings. Okay, so you learn it. Then you go start doing it. And every time you do it, you iterate. You do it better. You're more confident with it. It resonates with your team better. You know how to gather the attention of your team and all of those things. You understand how to do it and make it metrics based. You do it and iterate, and then it becomes a system. Like, this is the way we do team meetings here. So imagine the doctor who has to call, oh, I have a team meeting. What am I going to talk about? How are we going to do it? All that. And they do that every week. Do you know the amount of mental clutter? If you did your meetings on Monday, from Thursday, the week before, you're already thinking about what's the meeting? What am I going to talk about? I talked about that already or whatever. Whereas if you learned how to do it and you did it until you were competent, and then you kept iterating as you were doing it, you have a system. This is our meeting. This is how long it lasts. This is what we start with. This is where we go with this. This is where we have our discussion. And then at the end of it, we have our next steps for everybody. Boom, we're done. And you have the most impactful 60-minute meeting that you didn't have to think about, right? Okay, so I'm going to come back to where we started from. And that is this. What if I could show you how to take the things that are most stressful in your business and make them not stressful? Take the places where you had mind drama and replace it with peace. And take the places where you're constantly procrastinating because it's too much work. And you're right, it's too much work if you need to reinvent the wheel every single time. What if you could take up all those places and you just become this person who does what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not, by default? You could be there, but it will require that you become a system builder. And it is more a mindset than an activity. You just think that way. I can't keep doing this over and over. Like, imagine if trees needed to be created every single year, like from scratch. No, you had the tree, you put the reproductive system in the tree, and that tree makes new trees forever. I want to invite you to become a system builder. Be an engineer like me. You're a system builder. And you build systems that will help your business be more consistent with the way it delivers, deliver at the highest level, and it brings you, the owner, so much peace, so much time saved, so much mental clutter gotten rid of. Okay? Okay. So what do I want you to do? I want you to decide that this is who you are now. Okay? I want you to sign up for the Inside Scoop with Dr. Una, my new email newsletter, if you haven't done that already, okay, ontremd.com/scoop, because these are the kind of things we're going to talk about, the wins, and deconstruct it. Like, how did this happen? Okay, this is what we're going to do. And then I want you to go and play around with your first system. Find something, anything, because it's about developing a mindset and a way of doing things. Find anything. Build a system, start building a system around it. Learn, do it to your competent, iterate each time, document it, boom, system is here. Okay? I am rooting for you. And I love celebrating that you get time back, that you get mental clarity back, that you get bigger results with more peace and calm. Okay? Rooting for you. I'll see you on the next episode of the On Trendy podcast.